Oh, little sneak preview of the review. I can tell you from the first six, just a little bit. I really like the animation so far. I think that the story is good and it's pretty funny. The only thing I don't like is some of the dialogue is pretty stilted because it's translated, and I sometimes that English overdub on anime just drives me nuts. Just just the way it sounds and how it just sounds unnatural, just completely unnatural way of talking. So that throws me off. But other than that, it's really good.
It's one of my favorites. I enjoy it, so I can't wait for the full thing. And we're going to try to beef up the YouTube channel in 2018. A lot more stuff coming down the pipe in 2018. And then if anybody is in the Chicagoland area, April 6th through the 8th.
Emergency.
Subs not dubs, Chief. Subs not subs not dubs. Exactly, Dolly. Subs not dubs. With me, with two kids, sometimes I got to have the dubs just so I can follow along while they're, driving me insane. But I agree. I love watching them with subs as well. And a lot of them nowadays, especially if you're watching Crunchyroll, it's all subs, never dubs. Gotcha. You know what? Gotcha. No dubs. I will follow that.
It's way better with hearing the original soundtrack.
It is.
But well, I mean, it depends, I guess. Like stuff like some of it doesn't bother me. Like Akira, it doesn't really bother me that bad, really. I can watch the dub version of Akira, and I still find it really awesome. But some anime just sounds weird. Maybe it's the voice actors that bother me.
Maybe because you usually it's a lot of the same people, but we'll see what I kind of want Chief to do either Rosario Vampire or High School DxD next.
Yeah, I kind of want one that's weird. Like, give me a weird one. Not like a weird porno one or anything, but give me a really bizarre one. The next one,
Dolly, Miyazaki stuff is okay. Yeah, definitely with Miyazaki stuff. It's Miyazaki. How great is Miyazaki? All his stuff is great.
I've seen all of it though.
You see Ponyo?
Yes, I've seen Ponyo.
Ponyo, little tiny fish.
I like that. It's cool.
I think I'm the only person who wants dubs because of my vision being bad. Reading is almost impossible for me, so I'll take a bad dub. Steven, how about what if Chief and I dubbed an anime? It'll be the Chief and Spin dub of an anime.
Just put in our own words. How accurate do you think they are? I
don't know. If we dub it, it won't be accurate. If we dub it, it won't be accurate. It will be like.
Yeah, if we do.
No, I have not seen Ergo Proxy. I'm gonna have to watch that one. I'll have to check that one out. Ergo Proxy. So you said no porno ones. I really want you to watch High School DxD though. I think you'd get a kick out of High School DxD.
Not just just blatant porno ones. If it's got some sex scenes in it, that doesn't bother me because if it's part of a story. But
right,
I don't watch just straight up anime porn.
Right. Maz says that would be cool. Dolly says please do. Steven says that's amazing. So Chief, it looks like we will have to dub at least probably a little bit of an anime. We're probably gonna have to dub something like that. I'll do it. I'll do it. Maybe I'll bring in some different voices, Chief.
Yeah.
I'm
not doing that. My Charles Bronson's terrible.
Hey, Chief, what this anime needs is just more cowbell. It's what it needs, Chief. The
Paul Lynn always gets me, man. You gotta put some Paul Lynn in there.
Oh my God. They're showing panties in an anime. I'm the secret square. Kids, I was on Bewitched. Uncle Arthur.
and the old Prospector's always my favorite.
Oh, the Prospector. He's my gold. That's my gold. Don't you get off my land.
That kills
the old Prospector. I love the old Prospector. And maybe Torgo, Chief. Maybe Torgo should come in. Can you bring in Torgo?
Not good at that guy.
So,
but get regular guy voice out of me.
Regular guy voice. Get like your coach from Cheers.
Exactly.
With Renegade Masterpiece Theater. So, So tonight, though, we do want to hear. We want to take a lot of your questions. So if any of you guys got questions you want to ask of Chief and I, just put them up in the chat, and we'll be answering those questions. As long as you guys are asking them, we'll answer them. I don't care how long this thing goes.
What's your social security card number, Spin?
8675309 Jenny.
Give me all your vital information.
Give me your bank. Give me your routing number.
What's your Twitter password?
Oh, ain't nobody get my Twitter password. Nobody gets that shit. You don't know how much. I try to put out as much as I can on the Twitter box. Hey, and if any of you haven't followed our Facebook page yet, mate, please go to facebook.com/NRR Truth Radio and follow us there as well.
Dolly asked if we put this link on Twitter. Did we? I don't know.
Yes, we did. I did. Dolly wants the credit card number. We'll talk offline, Dolly, about that one. Okay. Only for you. Only for you. Dolly has actually been on the show twice. So if you haven't heard the shows with Dolly, she was on 2 weeks ago. Really another great talk with her. And so make sure you go check out those episodes.
And go follow her on Twitter.
Yes, follow her on the Twitter box.
I always get her Twitter wrong. What's her Twitter again?
I am going there right now. Dolly Lay's Twitter is at Miss Dolly Lay on the Twitter. So please go follow Dolly. She is so awesome. So awesome.
Yes.
So with this show this past year, if you've been following us this past year, we've had a slew of people come in on this show this year, and I just wanted to give a little rundown of some of the guests we've had this year because it has been simply fantastic. Olive Glass, Dolly, of course. James Rolfe has been back with us twice this year, the angry video game nerd. And little bit of a preview. We'll be working with James more in 2018. James will be back with us in 2018.
Awesome.
Yes, James will be back. The Twitter
is right along with everybody.
Say that again.
I find some of this out right along with the audience.
You do. So we've had Bigfoot hunters on with us this year. We've had so many slew of guests this year and a lot of big news stories. Do you have a list of who you would like to have on the show in 2018? Says Maud. First and foremost, Chief and I have a bucket list of guests that we would just die to have on this show.
Some of those may be coming up here in early, kind of mid-April.
Yes, mid-April.
We're going possibly, if all goes well, we'll be going as press to C2E2 in Chicago, and we'll hopefully be picking up some of the interviews that are on that list, and that would be good because hopefully that'll get us access to the DC roster while we're there at least.
Yeah, exactly. More
Tom King on top of my list right now. Tom King's going to be at C2E2. Tom King is at the top of my list, writer of Batman. That's who I want.
Scott Snyder probably. If Scott's there, we always get a chance to talk with Scott whenever we're someplace with him.
Scott will definitely be on if he's there.
Yeah, Steven says more wrestlers. I've been working on that. Believe it or not, I've been working on that to get more wrestlers on. I've talked to Mia Yim, but she at that point, it was right around the hurricane in Florida, so she wasn't doing any interviews at that time.
Oh,
but
understandable.
Huh?
That's understandable.
Yeah, very understandable. So, yeah, we're working on more wrestlers on the show. We've had Leva Bates, who, if you watch NXT, she was Blue Pants in NXT. The thing that we find with the wrestlers is the independent wrestlers I can talk to. If they're part of, like, WWE, TNA, that's a whole other shebang. Yeah, that's Jade from TNA. Yeah, Mia Yim. It's hard to get them if they're like in one of the big promotions, but we're working on it. We're definitely working on that.
We had one lined up one time and it turned into a fiasco. So we're doing a little gunshine wrestlers lately too.
Yeah, there was one we had talked to. I'm not going to name any names, but she's formerly from TNA, and I had worked with. It was one of those where you work with their people type of a thing, and I had worked with their people. And they were like, cool. So then the day of the show, Jasmine is saying, where's everyone chatting? I'm feeling about 80 years old tonight and my ability to handle tech tonight. Jasmine, if you're watching, and I'll tweet you as well, it's on the right side of the screen. If you're watching it, I don't know if you're watching it on your phone or if you're watching it on a laptop.
I have the same problem. Don't be hard on yourself. I'm almost didn't make it.
Now, if you're now, Jasmine, if you're watching it on your phone, which I will do that now, I will go there. If you're doing it on your phone, the chat will be. There's a button at the bottom that says live chat, and you can just click on that, and it'll bring it up, and you'll be able to live chat right there. Or you can just tweet me your questions. I am at NRD Renegades. I'm more than happy to take it that way. Twitter
Can't get in the chat, just NRD Renegades on Twitter.
So back to the story. What happened is the day of the show, I had got a hold of her people, and I said, okay, we're good to go. We're ready tonight. Chief and I are on par. Even the elusive third Renegade, Panda, was ready to rock and roll that night.
Yeah, it's hard to get Panda on the show, too. I mean, we tried to get her tonight, and she's busy. So
yeah, Panda, she's a workaholic, man. So they're like, well, this is just a phone interview, right? I was like, well, no, it's through, I think at the time we were using Hangouts. I was like, okay, it's on Hangouts. That way we can see her. We can judge, we can kind of judge reactions to questions and things like that, see in the face. And her people go, oh, well, if it's a video chat, you have to pay for that. And I said, what? They're like, yeah, you have to pay to video chat with her. I said, I'm press. This is an interview. Why do I have to pay for an interview? So that went over like a fart in church. And since then, no contact with that person, because it's just, I don't feel like in what we do, to shell out money for an interview. I don't know how other people would feel about that. But
that's kind of antithetical to the show. What we started, we're low budget on almost on purpose. not well. I mean, we don't want to put any money into it, but I mean, on the same time, we want to keep it down to earth and kind of like everyman kind of a show, and that's why it's done on such a shoestring of a budget, and we just put it out for free. And we vowed to always have the show be free, so we're not going to pay for fucking interviews. Get out of here.
Let's see. Steven says, I had a similar but not quite issue with Matt Stryker, though he's cool, just bad communication. Former WWE wrestler, commentator, been wrestling. I think he was doing Lucha Underground for the last couple of years. I think he's been doing Lucha Underground. But yeah, I would love more wrestlers. The Chief and I's mecca of who we want on the show.
We've had a lot of them already, honestly.
We've had a lot of them. We've had Scott Snyder, we've had James Rolfe, Brad Jones, the angry video game, or not the cinema snob, which was fantastic. We talked a lot about movies.
Trace Beaulieu was a big one for me from Mystery Science Theater. That was like a big one off my list.
Yeah, Trace. Then we had. We've had, B.D. Wong from Gotham, Jurassic World, Jurassic Park. We would love to have Tommy Wiseau on the show.
That's a huge one for Spin for sure, and it would be big for me too. But Spin, you've met him before, dude. So I've
met Tommy Wiseau. I have played football with Tommy Wiseau. My Facebook, my personal Facebook background will never change. This is a picture of me, Tommy Wiseau, and
Greg, right? That's great.
Greg Sestero. Yeah, so I met them. This was right around when the book The Disaster Artist came out, and I got to play football with him. And Maud, thank you for the tweets that you're putting out about how to do the chat and everything. Thank you so much. Tommy Wiseau would be a big one that we would love to have. We would love to have Nick Cage.
There was a point where we were close to getting Nick Cage.
We were so close to having Nick Cage on the show at one point.
We've got a weird connection to Nick Cage that we don't want to just come right out and ask the person that we know that knows him to get him on the show. But we would love that.
We may ask. You never know. And then there's just so many people we'd love to have on the show. I mean, this year has just been a fantastic year of people coming back and people, meeting people like we've met Dolly.